isn't she lovely stuck in my head?
I'm Pamela Portnoy, and no one's okay. Welcome back to No One's Okay. I am back. I am here today with Matt Mancuso. He is a returning guest. I honestly don't even know how many episodes you have done with me. Probably 2 of No One's Okay, and then maybe 2 or 3 based-ons.
I definitely know 2 based-ons. I think only 1 was released though, and then I think 2 No One's Okay.
It's gonna be released soon, very soon.
Oh, I'm not. You release it whenever you want. I'm just. You release
Matt's
whatever.
calling me out right away.
I'm not. That was not meant to be a call out. See, now you're turning all of your people against me right off the bat.
No, they love you.
Sorry, everybody. I apologize.
Well, as you all know, Matt is an actor, a writer, a producer, a professional ballroom dancer.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, he is here in LA with me right now because he is going to a ballroom dance competition, correct? This weekend?
Yes.
Are you excited?
I am. I'm emceeing this one, so I'm not dancing. I don't want to say it's an easier job, but it's not as hard as dancing in a competition.
I imagine.
So, yeah.
I imagine. So what kind of stuff will you be doing? You're like commenting on the dances?
We don't comment. MCs are basically just kind of the voice. So we announce every event, and we have single dance events and multi-dance events and everything. So we have to announce every dance. So even though, yes, the dancers know what they're about to dance, if we have ballroom dance competitions, always have audience presence as well. So we always have to say, okay, dancers, your first dance is a waltz.
Do you put on that voice?
I absolutely do.
I love it so much.
I absolutely put my MC voice on.
I would love for you to do like a quick intro into like No One's Okay with your announcer voice.
I could. I'd be like, welcome to No One's Okay with Pamela Portnoy.
Wow, such a good radio voice. That's amazing. So, as I mentioned, you have your hands in a lot of different things, including the podcast agency Declassified, which we talked about with your lovely producing partner, Claire, last time you were on the show. Tell me what's going on with the show.
We're in the middle of production of season 3. And we've that's really actually what it is. We've done 2 seasons. We've done seasons 1 and 2. We actually got shortlisted for an Audioverse award.
Heck yeah.
We didn't win, but we got shortlisted, so we were very happy. It was an ensemble award. Which is great considering the show is very ensemble based. But yeah, so we're in the middle of season 3. We've recorded episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, and mini episodes 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are in the editing, mixing, and sound design process, because we normally mix and release earlier than we normally do, but we're trying to get everything done ahead of time so that we don't have as much stress as we had at the end of season 2, especially because our season 2 finale was such a behemoth, considering it was taking place at a concert. So there was a lot of sound design to do it. We had to get our actor Amber to record original music that was written for her, and so trying to get all of that done was a lot. And plus we had 14 voices on that episode, and so
I wonder, and how many different tracks? Like, I don't remember the actual recording process. I imagine that there were different sessions, like there normally are. And I can't imagine like the editing process with doing so many separate recording sessions and then like blending it all together and make it sound cohesive.
Yeah, so for that one, I think almost everybody, because of timing and everybody's schedules, I think almost everybody had a separate recording session. So I think I did about like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Just to get everybody done.
Yeah.
And then Claire edited that one. But yeah. And sometimes actually with Claire and I have talked about it, it's going into this season, we've decided to change up our recording style. We normally recorded like 1 episode at a time. We tried to, have as many people on a session as possible, kind of run it like a 3-camera so that people could bounce energy off of each other and read with people in the scenes and all that stuff. But, it's getting harder because we are out of the pandemic in a way.
Mhm.
Yes, COVID is still around. Pay attention, everybody. Um, but like some of our actors are getting other jobs. I know Amanda Quo, who plays Priscilla, is going. I want to say like someplace like Nebraska, and I can't remember if it's Nebraska, but it's in the middle of the country to go do a play. So, and she said, "Oh, I'm going to be gone for 4 weeks." Okay, great. So we kind of switched up our recording style this year. Like we're recording episodes in chunks. We're doing 4-episode chunks where we just literally have everybody come on during the week, during the weekend, or during the week, and we just go, okay, whatever you have in these 4 episodes, you record today. Which makes it somewhat easier. And actually, we're going to make it even. People may think it harder. We think it easier. That we're going to actually record people separately, because it does make it easier for the editing process. Because then you're not editing out everybody else's like stuff.
Weird sounds.
Well, what we use, the system we use actually records everybody separately, but then it's editing out all the emptiness.
Mhm.
So we're going through, and I'm going, okay, this is 20 minutes of them not talking because the other people are talking.
Right.
So instead, we're going to go on and basically just go like, okay, this is your 30-minute block. We're going to do all of your stuff in your 30 minutes. You get the chance to do 2 or 3 takes of each one. And then you're off, which I think would actually be better for everybody, because then they're not on for 2 hours because we're doing the whole episode. So they'll come on, they'll do their thing, be like, "Hey guys, you're good. Go ahead, have a good rest of your day." It's gonna be a lot of time for me, but
Yeah.
that's what you get when you are in charge.
Amazing. So, speaking of which, like, how do you prioritize all the things that you're doing? That's a loaded question,
It's a very tough
apparently.
question. Oh God, how do I answer this? See, I hope everyone can relate to what I'm feeling right now. Well,
They
agent.
can.
Okay, well, ballroom is going to be starting to take a back seat.
Mhm.
I just recently told my boss, so this is not anything new. She won't listen to this, and all of a sudden find out. I recently told my boss that I was not happy with the job, and I would be leaving the studio, and we negotiated me going down to part-time with me, just so for some students would leave the studio if I left completely. So it's kind of just a way of getting them used to some things. So I'll be going down to part-time only 2 times a week. Um, and yeah, so that's taking a back seat. That has been my job for a very long time. And at one point it was more in the forefront, especially when I was living in California, because I was competing professionally then, which is it's like not like, it is being a professional athlete. So we were practicing 2 hours a day. We were traveling the country all the time. You have to pay coaches. You have to do all this. So it was fun for a time, but it's not important anymore, and it's not really what I want to be doing. So agents, I guess, is kind of where agents goes first.
Mhm.
I would have to say, prioritize wise, because for me, it's my baby.
Mhm.
It's a show that I came up with, um and I feel very passionate about it. So that I think I have to think more about what my priorities are, and I think everyone has to experience that, where you come to a point, especially in the career, you're so worried about making money, being able to be stable so that you can continue to do what you want, or continue to pursue your dream, which is very important. But at some point you have to realize, is it helping or is it hurting? And this was no longer helping.
Mhm.
So that's why, like, that was such a priority all the time. Even
Mhm.
like if I would take a vacation, it would be like, okay, how many days am I taking off? Am I missing a social? How many lessons does that mean I'm losing? How many this? And it was like, it just became way too much to worry about. So that's why that's going to be taking a back seat, and hopefully moving more into the podcasting with agents and doing more with that. I'll probably be doing some more podcasts just myself, whether they be interview podcasts or even more fiction
Mhm.
podcasts. once Agents is done. But Agents is taking a lot this season because we were stepping up a lot with it. So yeah, and then always trying to work on other projects. So when I'm not, if I've done too much on Agents and I need a break, I switch over to other projects that I'm working on.
So you kind of do it by feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Agents, each episode now, because we've changed up, I've changed up the script because I write the episodes. It used to be very much like kind of mimicking the pandemic where we were all stuck in one place. So like season 1 was them stuck in the unemployment office. Season 2 was them stuck in the safe house. Because that was again in 2020 and 2021. So now we're in 2022 and everyone's up and out most of the time. Like no one's just stuck in their house. So the scenes kind of more reflect the shows that you've watched on television. So now there's sometimes 19 scenes in one episode.
Right.
And that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So now the page count is still about, I want to say 27 to 30, but then the episode comes out to be about 16 minutes because it's fast paced and all that stuff. So yeah, so sometimes if I've written 2 episodes of Agents, it's like my mind can't think anymore, or I can't visually see what's happening with the characters. So I was like, okay, I have to go to someplace else.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. How do you kind of because you're constantly busy and I rarely see you have like the downtime, how do you kind of keep up with your mental health?
I've been fortunate in that I haven't had as much history with mental health issues, whereas I know some people have. So I say that because I know it's a big deal for a lot of people. And my ways of doing it is I try to keep myself on a schedule. We've talked about this before. I go to bed 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I wake up at 8.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. Or earlier if my body wants me to get up earlier. And I get up. That doesn't mean I work all right away. I get up, and for me, it's get up. I'll Wordle right in the morning, or I'll do my Duolingo because I'm 700 plus days in with Italian.
Amazing.
So I'll get up and I'll do that, and I'll catch up on the television from the night before because I don't have cable. I haven't had cable since 2012, I want to say. So all of my stuff is streaming. So I get up and I watch stuff from the night before, or catch up on shows that I have fallen behind on. And that's my morning. Like, okay, this is my morning. Here we go. And I always get up earlier than when I need to. So if I've scheduled, because I just finished choreographing a show with someone, if we scheduled a choreography session for the two of us at 10:30, I'm probably will actually get up earlier than 8. I will still go to bed at 1, but I will get up earlier than 8 so I can have my morning.
It's amazing that you can function on that much sleep, because for me it's like 8 or 9 hours, and if I don't get that, I'm useless, completely useless. You've seen that because you've been staying with me this last week. Like, if I get, the other night I think we got 5 or 6 hours and I had to go take a nap like in the mid-morning. I was like, I cannot hang, I cannot do it. So that's really interesting how everyone kind of functions differently that way.
Yeah, it works for me because it I feel like it regulates me, and I've talked about this with my voice teacher a lot, because he was recently diagnosed with like OCD, and we talk about it a little bit, and with some of the things he describes about what OCD is, it's much more than like, oh, I have to turn the light on a million times, or everything has to be like in its own proper spot. A lot of it has to do with intrusive thoughts and all this other stuff that I've learned from him, and I'm going, oh, yeah, I probably have that too. So, and now I haven't got it diagnosed, and maybe I will at some point. So it's like, okay, so me keeping everything kind of even keeled is a way for me to kind of be like, all right, I'm at a steady pace. I'm at a good, here we are. Not that I'm saying I don't like surprises. I actually do like surprises. But a regimented day for me is easier because then I know, okay, I have time. At night is when I'll do this, or in the morning is when I do this, or and I figure it out, and I go, oh, okay, I have to fit in my workout. Oh, my workout will be at this time today, and it's okay.
What's like a day off look like for you?
A day off would probably be like what I did in Scotland. So I went on a trip to Scotland, visited 2 of my friends there, and it was a vacation. And so for me, a day off is still getting up and doing something, but maybe it's not work. I don't enjoy sitting around and doing nothing. So that's why, like, if I'm gonna sit around, then I have to be reading, or I have to be watching something, or in other words, I have to be feeling like something is being achieved. Just so, like, sitting on the beach is pointless to me.
I think it's so healing for me.
And but the thing is, like, for a lot of people, it is.
Yeah.
I cannot stand it.
That's so interesting.
I mean, part of it is because, like, especially when I was growing up and when you become aware of your own body, when I was younger, because my parents always talk about this, like, when I was younger, I went to the pool all the time. I was in the pool 24/7. When we went to the beach, I was in the water 24/7. As were my brothers, and I had 2 brothers, so you had built-in friends. But then you grow up, you get older, and my older brother was more about laying on the beach. My little brother started having his friends, and he was a swimmer, so he was with his swim team friends and everything. So, and then I was overweight as a kid, so it's very obvious. Then all of a sudden, when you're younger and you're very aware of, oh, I don't look like everybody else, and this is what's deemed unattractive. So it's like, okay, well, I don't want to go to the beach now. So then it's like, okay, I don't want to be here because nobody's going in the water, nobody's doing anything, so it's also boring. And so it's like, okay, so I'm not gonna go to the beach anymore. And that's why, like, I can't sit on a beach. It's like,
interesting.
Yeah, I can't do it. I hate it.
When was the last time you tried?
I try once a summer.
Okay.
To be a part of my family.
Okay.
Because I don't want them to think that I don't love them. So I'll go, like, one day, like if it's Labor Day weekend, because my family is from New Jersey, so Jersey has a season, and it's normally from right after Memorial Day to Labor Day is the season, and that means like when the life gods are on duty. So, and they go down a lot. My whole family goes down a lot. I don't, so I'll go down like one weekend, and I'll sit on the beach for one day. I'll bring a book with me. And then after about like maybe 2 hours, I go, okay, I'm done. Bye.
That's so interesting. I wonder, is there much? I don't imagine there's much nature in New Jersey.
Oh, actually, there is.
There is. Like, where do you go? Like, do you gravitate towards going out into nature at all?
Actually, in the last few years, yes, but it has to be activity based.
Okay.
So, we talked about this this week actually, and it's like, so I live in New Jersey now. I moved back to the East Coast in 2018 after living in California for 7 years, and then I tell people, like, all of my friends are not in New Jersey. So I moved back and there was no one there. Even my New York friends, they had moved out to either other states nearby, or were so busy that they were barely in New York or anything. So for like my birthday, especially over the last 2 years, I decided, like, okay, my birthday is when I'm going on adventures for myself, because I was like, I have no one there to celebrate with, and nothing against my family. I'm like, I'm not going to go out and get drunk with my mother.
Oh, that would be fun though.
No, it would not. It would not.
Why not?
My parents have yet to see me drunk.
I think maybe you'd be surprised.
I don't need to have that experience.
All right.
And my little brother is my friend, but not he's my brother. So like, I don't go out and get drunk with him. So, So I would go on adventures. So like the year before in 2020, because most of the parks and stuff were still closed, I went down to Cape May, New Jersey, which I had never seen before, and I lived there I grew up in New Jersey and lived there till I was 18, and we never went down. It was too far south. It wasn't our beach. In New Jersey, you have your beach. So I explored that, and then I went up to Bushkill Falls, which is in New York, I think. And then what's in New Jersey? We have a sculpture garden in New Jersey. We have the Pine Barrens.
What's that?
The Pine Barrens is basically this big, huge forest of trees, of pine trees and other things. It's just a humongous thing. That's where the Jersey Devil lives.
What? Tell me.
So we have a fictitious animal.
Is it like folklore?
It's folklore.
Okay.
You learn about it, actually. When I was a kid, you had to take, I think it was third grade, you had New Jersey Studies, a part of like your social studies thing. And actually in the Jersey Studies book, they mentioned the Jersey Devil.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not a real thing.
What's he supposed to do?
Nothing. He just hurts animals and hikers and stuff.
Nothing. No big deal.
It's not. It's not real.
Well, I mean, it's probably based on something, so probably like a wild animal.
Probably. I mean, it's basically like Sasquatch, or and I know there's people out there that believe Sasquatch is real, so I'm sure they would believe that the Jersey Devil is real. It's like the Loch Ness Monster. Like the Jersey Devil is our Loch Ness monster, and that it lives in the Pine Barrens.
What do they say it looks like?
Oh, it's disgusting.
What do they say it looks like?
I always imagined it as Taz from Looney Tunes.
I mean, yeah, because it's very like...
Because the Tasmanian Devil, which is an actual animal.
Yeah.
The Jersey Devil, however, has like wings of a bat, like the head, like a long head, like a giraffe or something. Wings of a bat, like the hooves of a horse. I mean, it's disgusting.
It sounds like a thestral.
It is kind of like a thestral, but it's not as cool looking as a thestral.
That's so interesting. I hope that you're not like, it doesn't get offended after listening to this podcast and it's like, well, Matt's next.
Well, I've never been to the Pine Barrens, so I think we're okay.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got the Pine Barrens. We've got part of the Poconos in New Jersey, in Jersey. I mean, because I believe the Appalachian Trail, part of the Appalachian Trail is also through New Jersey. So we've got mountains in New Jersey, and you can go and climb and do that. I've been to Watchung State Park, and yes, we do have a town that's called Watchung. It always makes me think I'm saying like a karate word when I say Watchung. So we have Watchung State Park. We've got some state parks down in the beach area. So yeah, there's actually a lot to do in New Jersey. There's West New Jersey, as I like to call it, the place where no one goes, that has farms and streams that actually go through your backyard, which does not happen.
Interesting.
Which does not happen anywhere else. We have deer that live behind my parents' house, like this is very small patch of wood, and there's about 16 deer. It's not really 16, but there's a lot.
My parents get them too.
Yeah. So there's deer. We have deer crossing signs everywhere in New Jersey.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, a lot of deer on the side of the road. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Incredible. So you were recently in a puppet show.
I was.
Can you tell the audience a little bit about it?
Okay. All right. So this puppet show was supposed to be done in 2020, April of 2020, I think. Obviously got postponed. It was called Starman, asterisk. So there's an asterisk after Starman, so that's part of the title. So we were made.
So you have to say asterisk?
We made a joke of it backstage. I think we were like Starman, like, and we did that action to give the symbol of the asterisk. But yes, there's always an asterisk there because it's meant to represent a star. And
do you do that whenever you like mess up on a text and then you send the correct version with the asterisk?
I do.
Do you do this now?
I should.
Actually.
I should.
I meant this.
I meant this. Yeah, so I was recently in a puppet show. It was Starman, created by Aubrey Kleindinst, my friend. Aubrey and I did a production of Henry VIII, which was my first production back on the East Coast. in 2019, and Aubrey conceived of this during their masters in Accademia dell'Arte in Arezzo, Italy. And then this puppet show was really a showcase because there's a much longer version of the show. But we are originally in 2020 we were going to get to do 20 minutes, and then doing it in 2022 we only had 15 minutes, so we had to cut down a lot. And the experience was fun. It was very different. I was a human element, or sometimes what they call a fleshy.
Okay.
Because I wasn't operating a puppet.
Uh-huh.
I don't have that skill. At one point I was operating it like a little bit in 2020, but now I'm not operating it. I didn't operate it at all. And I was the villain. So I don't. They finally put my deep set eyes to good use. Because apparently so many people get freaked out when I look serious.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Which I find very funny. But I think it's just because dark eyebrows and deep set eyes, so it's like I basically like Peter Capaldi. That's what I say in my head. It makes me feel good. So yeah, but yeah, it's the story of this astronaut goes off to space, and while they're doing a spacewalk, their oxygen line cracks.
Oh no.
So they're in the middle of space dying. And then these space jellyfish, which we don't know, but if in the longer version we would learn that they were actually inhabitants of Earth before humans, come along and save him. And the only way that they can have him survive is that he has to basically merge with an older jellyfish that is also dying. So then they become a symbiote, much like if you are a Spider-Man fan, like Venom. Venom's a symbiote. So they merge into this one beautiful kind of half human, half jellyfish.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Was that your character?
No. I'm the villain.
Okay.
Because it's the jellyfish human hybrid is representing, people who are non-binary, because Aubrey is non-binary. People who are non-binary, people who are of the LGBTQ community, those people who are shunned, because the jellyfish, this now combination, is again looked at as, I'm the villain that looks at it as something disgusting and scared, and I don't know anything about it. I was playing very much the macho guy. And I had to put all of the sleaziness to good use. So like I would be checking out my co-stars butt and everything, and I'd be like obtrusively getting into her space. Obviously we talked about it beforehand, as actors we were very aware this was going to happen, but all that stuff, trying to show that symbolism of what happens a lot. I can't tell you how often I've heard stories about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what I was the symbol of. So that instead of trying to understand what the jellyfish was, it was immediately, you're a threat. I'm going to take you out. So, yeah. So that was the story. I wind up getting electrocuted at the end of the...
Spoiler alert!
Well, of the 15 minutes. I don't die. In this version, I do die. But I'm supposed to... this is really just a shock, and I'm kind of like knocked out. And then there's a much longer version, which Aubrey does hope to do. They're looking for a space to do it, or they're applying for grants and stuff like that to see if we can do the longer version, because it is a much longer version. Because we also have two little puppeteers operating the two tiny jellyfish that saved our man. So yeah, so there was a lot. We had original music done.
That's awesome.
We had to time everything to original music. I mean, it was a lot of stuff. Yeah.
So what do you have coming up that our listeners can look out for?
Agents.
Yeah. Listen to Agents Declassified. Where can they find it, Matt?
They can find it on Apple. They can find it on Amazon. They can find it on Stitcher. They can find it on Spotify. They can find it on... I think we're on iHeartRadio too.
Beautiful.
Yeah, even Audible, because Audible is technically owned by Amazon, so like we're on Audible. So for people who listen to Audible, I was like, we're there.
Same Z's in case you guys aren't listening on there already.
Yeah.
Listen.
And I think Amazon Music too. I think if you're just attached to Amazon,
I think so.
You're
probably
on
all
everything. Yeah. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Check out Agents Declassified. It's amazing. We're both in it. And it's fun.
You're in it more than me.
We're both in it, but you, I mean, your heart and soul's in it. You write it, you produce it.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that I'm acting in it, and then I realize, oh right, I have to do a storyline for that.
Oh yeah,
character.
I'm acting today.
I forget to do storylines for the character I play, and I literally started the season having everybody planned out, and then I went, oh wait, I didn't even think about him.
Who do you have the most fun writing for?
Oh, Inez.
That's my character, you guys. Thanks, Matt.
Inez and Althea, because they're those characters. I kind of think of it. It's like Inez is kind of similar to if you're a Parks and Rec fan, Tammy 2, where everything goes. So you can say anything. So Inez is really fun because, you know, she's really aggressive. She can say a lot of things to Sydney and get away with it. And Althea can literally just say anything because she's Althea. With the other characters, it's kind of, you know, very specific. Sydney is very type A. Bradley is innocent and this and everything. And Priscilla's a different person. And Alfie. So it's just trying to, I very specifically thinking about it. Inez, I'm just like, does it sound good? Great.
Is it crazy? Yes. Good. Is it not crazy? Let's make it crazier.
Hey, that's pretty much what it is. Yes. Like Althea in a most recent episode says hello to her house, which I was like, I think that only works if Althea is there.
Beautiful.
So, all the stuff.
Amazing. I'm so excited to see what's to come. And where can our listeners follow you?
Myself or the show?
Both.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm only on Instagram.
Beautiful. What's your handle?
Matt.Mancuso1. I now remember.
Wonderful.
Yeah, because, that's I don't post as much as I should. But, yeah. And then Agents is on Instagram and then all the podcasting platforms and everything, so.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me today, Matt.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Anytime. I'm so glad. I knew when you were coming in from New Jersey and you were staying here, I was like, we got to get you in the studio because we've done this through Skype way too many times.
I know.
It's nice to podcast in the flesh.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Like a couple of fleshies.
There you go. Way to go.
Full circle.
Everyone at the Jim Henson Company would be really proud of you for using that. There you go.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And we will see you guys next time. Bye. This podcast was produced by Jason Crow and me, Pamela Portnoy, with music by Jordan Ross Weinhold. You can follow the show on Instagram and Facebook at No One's Okay, and please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. We love kind reviews. No One's Okay is also on YouTube, so if you want to see our faces, please subscribe to our channel. An extra special thank you goes out to Sean Moore, Claire Palmer, Jackson Palmer, Tiffany Haymoff, and Alexa Marie Anderson. This podcast was recorded at Soundworks Studios. Thank you so much for listening. See you next time.